12 in the NFL, and the Cardinals at 9-2 on their bye week. Kent Summers, what's the most surprising thing about these Cardinals right now?
That they're 9-2 and they have the best record in the league. I didn't see that coming for sure. I think the most surprising thing is they were able to win 2 out of 3 without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Not to mention J.J. Watt, Justin Pugh, but especially Murray and Hopkins to win 2 out of 3 games, and both wins are division wins. That surprises me.
Greg, for you, what stands out as you look at this 9-2 record here for the Cardinals?
Without making a joke about it, 6-0 on the road, 4-0 in the division. And the Cardinals are winning the hardest games to win. They were 1 play away from beating Green Bay. I don't know what they were doing against the Panthers. Cam Newton went nuts, but it wasn't just Cam Newton. Listen, if you're undefeated on the road and you're undefeated in the division, you're a good football team. Nobody could have seen that coming.
And Bob, for you, I mean, you see this team every day. What do you think here?
Well, I would agree that the Colt McCoy surgeon's there in 2 of the last 3 games, and he's played super. I didn't see that coming. It was impressive. I think what I just see is a steady team week to week that somehow keeps it together, guys, and wants to get better every week. And that's hard to do in a 17 now game season, 18 weeks. You're going to have dry spells. You're going to have bad weeks. They've had 1 bad game, period. And they keep striving to get better. And that's been their mantra, and they haven't lost it. That's stunning to me.
Ken, I'm curious about your thoughts about, has Cliff Kingsbury come into his own this season? Has he turned the corner and become that coach people thought he could be?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the major storylines of this season. I thought it was pretty funny that he joked Monday that, he didn't take as much personal satisfaction in it, but he was happy for family members that didn't have to hear him be called a dumbass anymore. But yeah, there's no question and I think Greg and Mac have seen this. He's given a little bit more of himself. His personality shown through a little bit. I think he's done a great job on the field coaching. The way he adjusted the offense for Colt McCoy versus Kyler Murray, it has been brilliant. And he's got these guys buying into the cliche, hey, we're just looking to go 1-0. We're not looking down the road. We're not looking behind us. We're looking to go 1-0. And we hear players and coaches say that all the time, but these guys really, really seem to believe it.
And that's not Cliff Kingsbury in the background bemoaning. That's Bob's dog. But what's the name of your dog, Bob?
Diablo. He's a big husky. Come here.
He sounds like the devil.
There he is.
He ate my electric razor. That's why I'm growing this.
How'd that come out?
It came out of his nose. I know that.
Greg, back to the
thing was spinning around.
To the Cardinals. When you look at this offense, other than your cousin Rondale Moore, what else stands out to you here, Greg?
Oh, it's got to be the run game, right? And James Conner being able to just bully people around with that stiff arm. So we know what DeAndre Hopkins can do, except, and I still can't get over this play. Kyler threw him a bomb. I think it was Kyler. It doesn't matter. It was a bomb in the air for DeAndre. He slowed down like the ball was right there. He made the DB stop and turn around. And he took back off and caught the ball. It would have been a touchdown, except he got a face mask because he grabbed the guy's face mask and dragged him across the goal line. Stuff like that does not surprise me at all because it's DeAndre Hopkins, right? But when you've got this running attack and guys are getting it up the middle and they're getting it in short yardage and they're among the league leaders in rushing first downs and rushing touchdowns, this is supposed to be a finesse team, right? Like this is supposed to be one of those teams that gets you by tricks and surprises, which, by the way, they've still got that, is that Zach Ertz touchdown last week showed, but it's got to be the run game.
And Bob, I want to focus on the defense with you. Marcus Golden, 10 sacks. Jordan Hicks. Again, I go back to what we talked about before this season started with Jordan Hicks and Zaven Collins. This defense, even with the injuries and COVID things that have happened up to this point, has really just been standout.
Yeah, they've had their share of injuries, and they still do. It's a top 5 defense right now, and it's getting the ball, turning it over. It still has issues stopping the run. It did it obviously against a pretty bad Seattle team. That's going to be the thing to watch. I mean, they've got some big games coming up against teams that can run the ball. I'm eyeballing that Colts game on Christmas. There's a Rams game on a Monday night. They've got other games that are concerning for that, but when they needed to, they've managed to do it. And I hearken to what Kyler Murray told me a couple weeks ago or a week ago when I said, "What's this team going to look like when you're almost as healthy as you can get?" Because there are guys who are going to come back, maybe even J.J. Watt, believe it or not. And he goes, "Sky's the limit." I hear that a lot, but this guy's like, "We've got everybody we need to make a serious run at you know what," and he thinks it's going to happen if they get those guys back. And you know what? I agree with him.
And Cardinal fans are very excited as they think about the rest of this season. Here's the remaining 6 games on the Cardinals schedule: at the Bears, home on that Monday night versus the Rams, at the Lions, without Matthew Stafford, by the way, so maybe the Cardinals have a chance on the road there. I threw that in for you, Greg. Home against the Colts on Christmas Day, at Dallas again, and the Cowboys, and then home for the last game against the Seahawks. What are you guys' thoughts on how they do in these last 6 games? Kent?
Wow. I think they'll do well, but I mean, every week in the NFL seems like another year or another season. I mean, 6 games seems, that's like so much can change. I mean, it just in the last month, we've seen the Patriots get hot and look like a Super Bowl contender and outscored their last 4 opponents 70-7 or something like that. We've seen teams struggle, after winning. I still can't figure out the Buffalo Bills, what's going on there. So I think the Cardinals, as Matt alluded to, I think they're built to last, especially getting those guys back. But, I see them going 4-2 down the stretch. They're kind of exploring both ends of the NFL spectrum, right? With playing the bad teams in Detroit and Chicago, and then some of the best teams, with the Colts and Cowboys back to back, especially.
Greg, what do you think about these last 6 games as they set up for the Cardinals?
Blow it up. If they don't go 6-0, forget about it. It'll never get done, right. For real. Listen, so they got 3 road games, right? So they don't lose on the road. So there's 3 wins, right? Okay, Indy. And Indy's got that running back, number 28, Taylor, who reminds me of that other 28, Taylor. Y'all remember Freddie Taylor? This guy, Taylor's a good running back. The Rams, okay, Seattle's not going to be playing for anything, right? Seattle, they're going to be like, playing for a draft pick. The Rams on Monday night and the Colts. They already beat the Rams once, and why not go undefeated in the division if you can do it? That's something they'll talk about for the rest of their lives. If they can go undefeated in the division, every time those guys bump into each other for the next 50 years, they'll rub it in each other's faces. I love that. You got to go undefeated in the division and beat the Colts because they're Colts. Forget about it, man. Where's Andrew Luck? If they ain't got Andrew Luck, I'm not having it. No Andrew Luck, no Peyton Manning, no Johnny Unitas. Forget these guys.
All right, Bob, your thoughts on the last 6 games?
I kind of agree with Ken. I think 4-2 is probably a safe pick. It wouldn't surprise me maybe if they even win 5 of those 6. I am worried about that Colts game, even though it's at home, and the Rams are always trouble. Dallas, I don't think Cardinals have any kind of fear about going into that big stadium. They've done it before, and they whooped on Dallas last time they were there pretty handedly. And don't forget, you're getting a healthy Kyler Murray back, healthy DeAndre Hopkins back, probably a lot more people. I don't think they're going to run the gambit, but they're going to be sitting pretty with 13 wins minimum, maybe 14, and 14-3 record. Get a first round bye. It could be really, really setting up nicely for this team.
Well, speaking of setting up nicely, here are the standings for the three of you as we come to the season so far. Bob and Greg both at 7-4 in your picks for the Cardinals, and Kent at 6-5.
But that's not good for any of us.
No. I mean, now
That's
listen,
great for me.
if you do the
You
four,
kidding me? I'm making this
Yeah.
as I go along.
Can you recheck your math there, Sniper?
well,
Pretty
there was a
bad.
Sasquatch in there. There were some point spreads that I had to maneuver my way through with Greg's picks. But yeah, it's as close as we can get. But nothing short of exciting the rest of the way here as the Cardinals head into the bye week on week 12 at 9-2. All your coverage coming up here at azcentral.com.
15-2.